thank them for being here and being supportive, and tell them a little bit about how something goes from a blank page to a novel.
So glad you could make it all today. Happy to have Ron here for the prequel of The Amendment Killer. He's here for the Puppet Master today. And this has been in the works for quite some time, so we're very welcome to have him here today. And his wife Barbie is going to say a few words as well. So we're glad you're here.
Two things. I'm Barbie Barak. I'm also known as, to the people that read Ron's occasional blogs, the wife.
We knew that.
And without further ado, I would like to introduce Ron Barak, the husband.
Very good.
Let's talk a little bit about what got me started on this journey of writing. And the answer in 2 words is the dare. But he said, if you're such a smart so-and-so, why don't you get out of the back seat and show us what you can do? And so I didn't have much time to respond, but being, hopefully a pretty decent lawyer, I quickly changed the subject and pretended I didn't hear the gauntlet being thrown down. But being a competitive personality as well, I came home and I told the wife that I thought I needed to write a novel. And I had no idea what that entailed. So I just started writing. And one of the nice things about that is I thought this thing that was going to be incredibly painful really turned out to be a lot of fun. Well, so far I have written, or still standing, 3 novels, not a trilogy, but 3 novels in the Brooks-Latello series. And they all involve standalone stories. You can read any one in any order, but they all have the same protagonists, Cyrus Brooks and Frank Latello. The first that came out was The Amendment Killer last November. The Puppet Master is the second, what we are celebrating here today. It actually will officially release January 8th, but Diesel has special limited editions of it that are available today. In The Amendment Killer, you kind of know who the players are early on in the story. You just don't know what the outcome is going to be. Will the amendment be upheld? Will the 11-year-old granddaughter survive? If she does, how will she get out of her pickle? In The Puppet Master, it is a classic whodunit. You have to read the book from cover to cover to get to the reveal. And then you have to say, wow, did Ron cheat me, or were the clues all there? And I will represent to you that the clues are all there. The third book, coming out in about a year, is Payback. Payback is about a demented author of political and legal thrillers who is very unhappy with the literary community, who he feels is not paying him enough attention. So he shows up at a week-long writers' conference patterned after a real one that I attend in New York every July, and people start dying. And Brooks is there. Why is a sitting judge at a writers' conference? Well, it's because his wife, Eloise, is tired of him always getting into trouble in his current occupation, so she decides he should become a novelist. and go to a writers' convention and learn how. And she says to herself and all the readers, after all, what could go wrong at a writers' conference? And where is the contemporary legal issue? Well, you probably all know about the word transparency. The Catholic Church today is being criticized for a lack of transparency, all the way up to the Pope. In the gymnastics sports community, near and dear to my heart, we have a man who was the team doctor for our women's gymnasts competing internationally for 30 years. And he was sexually abusing them left and right. And people who could have done something about it and should have done something about it turned their back because it wasn't convenient to raise it. So you have the same issue at the University of Southern California, my alma mater, who has a gynecologist at the health center who was abusing women students coming to the health center. All of these were instances of transparency that were lacking. In payback, the board of directors of the Writers' Conference knows that there is a killer loose. And there are 2,000 people registered at this event, and they're not being candid about it because they don't want to run on the bank. They don't want everybody leaving the event and wanting their money back. Edward Bauer, who is recording the audiobook for The Puppet Master, read a scene from the book between Frank Latello and Bobby Harrelson, who you just heard and briefly met.
Chapter 89, Monday, August 3rd, 4:30 p.m. Congressional Country Club was a different kind of eye candy, one of which Latello had never tired. Of course, someone not bitten by the golf bug might not understand. Still, he hadn't played since Beth's death. Latello slowed as he reached the guard gate. "Can I help you?" the guard politely inquired, not recognizing Latello as one of the members. "My name's Frank Latello. I'm a guest of Bobby Harrelson. He's expecting me." That wasn't so. It didn't matter. Latello knew Harrelson would cover for him if the guard checked. "Have you been here before? Do you know where to park?" "I have, and I do." "Okay, enjoy your visit." "Thanks." Latello dropped his car off with the valet and headed for the pro shop. "Hi, Bobby Harrelson around?" "He's finishing a lesson down at the driving range." "Thanks, I'll wander over there." "I can get someone to give you a ride if you'd like." "No, thanks. The walk will be nice." When he reached the driving range, Latello quietly took a seat and watched Harrelson finish his lesson. As the student walked off, Latello spoke up. "Bobby, how the hell are you?" Harrelson didn't even turn around. "Frankie L., get your ass out here. How you been, boy?" A rowdy, robust hug later, Latello said, "Bobby, I swear you look younger every time I see you. How do you do it?" "A lot of fresh air, a couple of rounds a week, some good food, some better drinks. How are Maddie and Charlie? How are you?" "I'm doing okay. Still missing Beth. Still adjusting. But we're getting there." Harrelson nodded. "So for a smart-ass detective, you really aren't all that smart. I keep after you to come out and shoot around with me, and you show up at 4:30. Why? Forget when the sun sets around here?" "Hey, Bobby, I need some help, but it's not with my game. I'll take some of your money when I have a little more time. Can I buy you a beer?" "Your money's no good here, Bubba. I'm happy to buy you one. Or two. I'll just go hit the grill." Clinking glasses 10 minutes later, Harrelson said, "Oh, maybe you're not so dumb after all, Frankie, talking all that trash about taking my money. But smart enough not to show up early enough in the day to have to back them words up. So, what can I do for my brother from another mother?" I need to check out a guy by the name of Thomas Reston Thomas III. I think he was a recent guest here at Congressional. I'm looking to find out who hosted him. Thomas Reston Thomas III? Give me a break. That boy's mama weren't no friend of his. Can't say as I know the guy. I don't think I would forget a moniker like that. Do you know who hosted him? Well, actually, I think I do know who hosted him. What I want is to confirm what I think. You gonna tell me who the member is, or do I have to guess? Around 500 members here, Bubba. The member's name is Blaine Hollister. Do you know him? Yeah, I do. Wouldn't bother me none if I didn't. What's that? I've given him a few lessons, played a couple of rounds with him. He's not nearly as hot stuff out there as he thinks he is. For all his supposed money, it's amazing how he forgets to cover his losses. What's the connection between Hollister and Thomas? Well, that's what I'm trying to find out, Bobby.
I want to thank you again for coming and hope you will all go visit next door that away on an angle in Diesel and buy some books, and I'll come in there and sign them if you do. Thank you very much.
I don't want to be in the picture. Here, let me go.
Tony.
No, I was thinking of saying absolute.
Okay.
I got it. My card's on the other side.
She's got a business. They're page turners. You just read one, and when you get to the end of that one little chapter, you got to get to the next chapter.
I was one of the characters in the book.
Is that right?
Yes, I was. That was interesting. I was one of the justices of the Supreme Court. Because I know the author, it was fascinating to me that a man like this that I know could write such a book, you know, and it was just, and I was glued to it, and I couldn't wait to finish. I couldn't wait to see how she got out of it. I knew she was going to get out, but I couldn't wait to see how it was.
Boys, thanks for coming.